Uh, Yo, what's up, chat? Welcome to the another episode of commentating League Extraordinaire. Uh, I thought this was gonna be on Saturday, but then the match got moved up. This is NCSU LoL Black versus Emory University. I have no idea if things are actually like going as they should. Hopefully they are. It's entirely possible that Emory doesn't show up. That has happened in the past with other teams. So right now, we're just kind of waiting for that confirmation that they're actually playing. Uh, I'm still sick, as you can probably hear. So my voice sounds a little weird or a little hoarse. That's why. I should change my stream category from Hell Let Loose to League of Legends. There we go. Oh yeah, it's that time. Uh I'm casting League of Legends today, hopefully, assuming the enemy team shows up. It's very exciting. This is the what, quarterfinals? I think. This is yeah, this is the quarterfinals. Or no, this is the semifinals. This is the semifinals. Okay. The it does look like it's gonna happen. It does look like the other team is here. So NCSU versus Emory University. Let's look at some stats on Emory. Their top laner. They Okay. Their top laner is called Love Aurelia, and they're Diamond 2 with a 61% win rate. Their jungler is Limit Testing 80, who's Master with a 51% win rate. Their mid laner is Diamond 3 with a 51% win rate. And then it looks like they have two support players. So I'm not sure which is going to be in bot, like, is it going to be ADC and which is going to be support. But the first support is called Squammy with who is Diamond 2 with a 49% win rate. And then the other support is TSU Swag with a 58% win rate. And if you want to compare that to NC State, our top laner is Icy Phoenix, who is Master with a 52% win rate to their Diamond 2. So that's a higher ranking. Our jungler is Born to Ornn, who's Diamond 2 with 51% win rate to their master. So that's basically a flip for the top laner and the jungler. Our mid laner is also master with a 54% win rate to their mid laner, who is Diamond 3. And then our bot laner, I believe, is Nim, who is Diamond 2 to their Diamond 2 and Gold 4. And then our support would normally be Riftmancer, who is Plat 4, but he's being subbed out for the NCSU League of Legends coach, who is Plat 2. And that is going to be Pessoa. So that is to their, that is a Diamond 2 and a Plat 2 to their Diamond 2 and Gold 4. So overall, NC State does have the advantage in terms of ranking, but as we saw as we saw during the college League of Legends tournament, the LoL tournament, ranking doesn't mean everything. As a team that was across the board lower ranks than NC State did win 3-0 in the best of 5. So these rankings don't necessarily mean much. Hopefully we're going to see some champion selections soon, so I can talk about that. It looks like all the players are in the lobby, ready to go. So we should see that soon. Okay. My sources tell me that their bot laner is TSU Swag. Okay, their ADC is TSU Swag, the Gold 4. So that's a Gold 4 ADC versus NC State with a Diamond 2 ADC. So that should be interesting, because ADC is one of the roles where your knowledge of the game can be very important. But a good support can make a lot of difference in that role too. And so their support is Diamond 2 to our Platinum 2 support. So that is probably going to be a very interesting matchup in the bot lane. Still waiting on some champion selections. Need to just start getting ready here. Okay, so now as soon as they do pick those champions, I should be ready to get data on them. I'm not sure what they're waiting on, but see, does that? Really, a top limit testing jungle mid. Oh wait, they're there's a sub on both teams. It looks like TSU Swag, the who I thought was their ADC, is actually Silencio. who is I don't have any data on Silencio. So we'll have to see. They are Platinum 3, so that is significantly higher than TSU Swag, the normal ADC, or at least the ADC listed in the notes I have. But that should still be interesting. Oh, and also it looks like the mid laners and the bot laners that I had for NC State are flipped. Nim, the Diamond 2 player, is going to be in the mid lane, and Prospector Pete, the Master player, is probably going to be in the bot lane. So the matchups that we're looking at in terms of ranking are in the top lane, Diamond 2 versus Master, Master versus Diamond 2 in jungle, in the mid lane, Diamond 3 versus Diamond 2, in the bot lane, Platinum 3 and Diamond 2 versus Master and Platinum 2. So it goes back and forth with who's got the better record in ranked gameplay. I'm assuming they're doing drafting right now, which is the process through which the teams decide who they're going to play, so that if someone makes a mistake or leaves during the actual champion select process, there's a way to keep everyone honest. So they go through a separate process of drafting, I believe. And I'm assuming that's what's going on right now. I do wish that they would go a little faster so that I had something else to talk about. I guess I can talk about who they're likely to play, which is, well, the Love Aurelia in the top lane is likely to play Aurelia, but also Fiora. So she's, or those are both high dueling champions. Those are champions with a lot of potential in 1v1 or 2v2 combat to be very good. So we're probably going to want to see a lot of ganking from Born to Ornn up in that lane. If it looks like Icy Phoenix isn't able to hold his own in that lane, but we'll see what happens in that regard, sort of, once we get into the game a little more. In the in the jungle, it looks like we're likely to see a Kha'Zix pick, because yeah, we're likely to see either an Evelynn, a Hecarim, or a Kha'Zix, and Hecarim's kind of the standout out of those three, because Evelynn and Kha'Zix are both stealth champions who kind of pop out and they're assassins, so they want to have that one big burst of damage from stealth to sort of get an instant kill on an enemy and then leave. Whereas Hecarim is more of a he's a bit tankier. He's got a bit more movement speed and no stealth, so he's gonna come out of nowhere, but more because he's so fast and less from the invisibility, the stealth that he doesn't have, and he's not going to be one-shotting the squishy champions on NCSU's team as much. And we're in the drafting. It looks like they probably finished the drafting, so now they're in champion select. So we'll actually start to see some of the picks and bans for this game. And the first ban is an Urgot, which is that's going fast. Okay, Urgot and Zac, and one last ban for the first round of bans. Urgot, Zac, and Cassiopeia have been banned by Emory, and Aurelia, Evelyn, and Hecarim have been banned by NC State. So we are going to see a Fiora come out in top lane, as I predicted. And in the jungle, is it going to be Kha'Zix? No, Karthus. That is different. That's going to create... okay, Fiora in the top lane. That's a duelist against an Ornn. NCSU picked Ornn against Fiora. Ornn is pretty strong. He's got a lot of CC. Fiora is probably... Let me be careful before I say something that is inaccurate. Just pull up the data on all of these champions. Ooh. Okay, so the teams are fully picked now. On the side of Emory University, we have in the top lane Fiora, in the jungle Karthus, in the mid lane Silas, in the ADC role Varus, and supporting the Varus we have Bard. On the side of NC State, in the top lane, we have Ornn. In the jungle, Trundle. In the mid lane, Akali. In the role of ADC, Misfortune. And supporting the Misfortune, we're going to have a Blitzcrank. Excuse me. Okay. So, in 3 minutes, we will be into the game. We are now just waiting for spectator delay. So, here is that. Some things. Karthus is a very high map presence champion when his ult is up. When his ult is not up, he's very slow. He doesn't do a lot of... He doesn't have a lot of potential on the map, but when his ult is up, it's a true global ult. It affects everyone on NCSU's team in this case. So that's going to be something they're going to want to look out for when level 6 comes around, taking some fights. Varus Bard into a Misfortune Blitzcrank. The Blitzcrank pulling the Varus is going to be really strong because Varus wants to sort of stay back and hold his Q for a long time to get a lot of poke damage off. And so a Blitzcrank is hopefully going to be able to use that slowing down, self-slowing effect of the Varus to get good hooks off and create that pressure for the Misfortune. And the Bard is probably going to be roaming a lot, looking for his passive chimes, and that might create sort of an augmented effect in the jungle because the Karthus is so slow. That might create a little bit more pressure in the mid lane. This is all just speculation on my part, though. In the top lane, Fiora. Okay, I was correct. Fiora does have a higher win rate against Ornn, but Ornn is generally right now the higher tier champion. So top lane's going to be interesting. Fiora has very good mobility and dueling potential, so she can sort of dodge around a lot of Ornn's slower moving abilities. So that will be really interesting to see, and we'll be able to see some hopefully some very interesting duels in the top lane this game. Pardon me. I had to blow my nose real quick because I was starting to get congested. As I said earlier, I am still sick. So this is a best of 3 matchup. So this is going to be oh. The game is paused. Well, I guess I can take this time to set up my usual things. Okay, unpaused. Or is it? I have to remember how to Control Shift Z. There we go. I forgot. It's been a minute since I've cast, and I forgot how to unlock. Alright. Looks like we already have the Fiora chasing in the jungle. Hopefully we're not gonna see an early solo kill. It looks like we are going to see a first blood. Yes, an early solo kill for the Fiora onto NCSU's jungler. That is gonna make things harder right off the bat for the Ornn, who's going to have an early gold and item disadvantage. As you can see, the Fiora already has 900 gold as opposed to Ornn's 500, and she's gonna come back with a longsword. That's gonna be an extra 10 damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in these early fights where you only have a couple hundred health, the extra 10 damage, and especially, yeah, that it's gonna make the early fights and especially early CSing too that much easier for the Fiora. And as we can see, she's already successfully poking the Ornn down with not much he can do. And part of that is due to that early kill, and part of it is just due to the champions that they are. Ornn's not really going to be able to fight back this early in the game against a Fiora, and he's probably just going to want to stand back and prevent the Fiora from proccing her passive, which is this ring that you see around the Ornn. If she is able to proc that, she gets healing, she gets true damage, and that is just not really what you want to see. It looks like we might see... No, we see the flash come out from the Ornn in order to prevent another kill going onto the Fiora this early in the game. And we do see Silas killing Akali under tower. This is not a great start for NC State. And we're going to see Akali using teleport to get back to lane early. We will probably see the same from Ornn, who is already backing with Aurelia pushing under tower. And yes, we do. We see the teleport come back out from Ornn. Is he maybe going to be able to... No, he's not able to force a kill. We might see something with the Trundle here. This might be a death for the Aurelia. It is looking that way. She uses her W for the invincibility, but is not able to get out. That is gonna fix some of the issues that NC State's having early. And as we know from previous matches, NC State is a very snowball heavy team. Their play style in general is to sort of try to snowball the early game and use that lead to their advantage. And okay, they paused again, but yeah, we know that NC State really likes to try to build an early advantage and then press that. And a lot of the times that we've seen them lose, it's because a game started like this, where they weren't able to keep an advantage, or even the enemy team got that advantage, and NC State wasn't able to put that pressure on. They weren't able to sort of they weren't able to play from behind. They weren't able to play from behind and sort of put the pressure back on and look for picks that they can get to sort of close early gaps. And maybe they have improved in that aspect since the last time we spectated them, and we could see an interesting game if this trend continues. But it is still early in the game, so we could just as easily see NC State still turn around this start and snowball, because it is only 4 minutes in to a game where matches can be potentially 30 to 45 minutes, even an hour. So it's still very early enough that if NC State did get a couple kills, then they still have that time to create that distance and snowball the way they like to do. Let's see. Is there any... It looks like the jungler on NC State's side was having some mic troubles, and that is why the game got paused. Uh, hopefully, okay. Hopefully that'll be the last of the pausing for this game. Let's see bot lane. Oh, that is a gank coming in from the Karthus. That's going to be a death on the Misfortune. Is it going to be also a death on Blitz? It looks like it will. That is not what NC State wanted to see. That is pretty bad for NC State. Now there's kills spread across every lane, which creates a gold difference for everyone. And if this keeps up, this game is going to be an early loss. And we do see a kill on the Trundle by Silas. Are we going to see a counter kill? It looks like Silas was able to get out using Flash. That is very unfortunate for NC State. There's now almost a 2,000 gold, over a 2,000 gold lead for Emory University before the 6 minute mark, which is not very good for NC State. They're gonna want to start looking for some the with a lead like this so early. Really, all NC State can do is look for good ganks from the Trundle, who's already very far behind the Karthus because of his deaths. But if he can find some good ganks, and if NC State's players play safe under tower, like within range of their towers, until there's like a fight that they're sure they can win, then this is definitely still possible to be turned around. But we're seeing an interesting play from the Karthus here. He was pushed way far up into enemy territory, as it were, and that is going to be mistakes like that are what we're going to want to see NC State sort of push and punish Emory for, just like that, and that's how we could see this game turn around, even though we see this massive lead so early in the game. And it looks like we're probably going to see a death on the Aurelia here, or the Fiora here too. But no, Silas comes in, the Silas double kill, and healing from Silas and Fiora allows both of them to make it out. This Silas is creating a lot of pressure early and roaming, and that is putting the pressure on NC State, making it very hard for them to earn back a lead. And that the plays from the Silas are leading to what we can see is already a commanding 3,000 gold lead, and this will only continue to grow if if NC State doesn't figure out how to counter the very jungle heavy playstyle of Emory University here with the roaming Bard and the roaming Silas. There's a lot of pressure on the map against NC State, and as we're seeing, that's going to be another kill on the Misfortune and the Blitzcrank. They do get one counter kill on the Bard, but a 2-for-1 when you're behind that it isn't in your favor is not what you want to see, and especially because the Bard did not have any of the kills. It would have been a lot better for NC State if they had gotten that counter kill on either the Silas or the Varus, who both have bounties due to their kills. That would have made it a more even trade. than it was. It looks like we're seeing NC State posturing for maybe a an early Rift Herald, and we're going to see a death on the Fiora with a tag team effort between the Ornn and the Akali. In the jungle, it looks like we might be about to see a a massive Carthisel comes out and is able to kill the Trundle, but NC State is able to shut down the Silas, get some of that gold. They are not able to secure the Rift Herald though, and if the Bard and the Karthus play their cards right, they could get another kill here. Akali not doing what you really want to do against a Bard, standing right against a wall. Yeah, that's exactly why you don't want to stand against a wall when you're against a Bard. Akali got stunned instantly, and now she is being forced to back. She did make it out, though, but it did lead to a death for the Blitzcrank. We're going to see Ornn just barely making it out, but we did see a death on the Karthus, further closing the gap. And picks like this, picks that they're getting, and possibly another one onto the Fiora now is what NC State is really going to want to be seeing. And if they keep doing things like this, which they are, this game could definitely turn around. This is one of the sloppiest games that I've commentated. Not in terms of like bad gameplay from either team, but in terms of the almost complete breakdown of the laning phase so early, with the amount of roaming that we're seeing from both teams. This is very unorthodox this early in the game to see these like team fights breaking out, even like before the 15-minute mark. It's so that's what I mean when I say a very sloppy game. And it looks like we are going to see Karthus taking the first Rift Herald. Excuse me. The Karthus could definitely make some interesting plays with that. He could use it to create pressure and completely take out top lane tower. Or if you wanted something more lucrative, since all of top lane tower plates are gone now, a Rift Herald in either the mid lane or the bot lane would generate a lot of revenue from these turret plates that are giving a lot of extra gold when you take them. It looks like we are going to see a duel between the Silas and the Akali. Not sure if it is going to end in a kill for the Silas. That is unfortunate for the Akali, who did go into that fight ahead, but the Ignite being up on the Silas did give him the extra kill pressure, as well as stealing Akali's ult. And Akali just being, in general, behind on items, it probably would have been safer for her to just accept that being ahead and back off. We're going to see a turnaround fight from the Ornn, being able to kill Fiora under his tower using his ult, and that is what you really want to see, because when the Ornn is able to solo kill the Fiora like that, it's a good sign for your top tower, and he's gonna be backing, not risking staying for the plates given how low his health is, which is unfortunate. It would have been nice if he could stay top lane and get that extra gold, but it looks like the wave isn't quite going to be able to take that plate. So there is still potential for Ornn to get that if he's able to get another kill on the Fiora, and he can make up some of the gold deficit. Because as you can see, even though the Fiora is 1-4 and the Ornn is 3-1, there's still a 700 gold, 800 gold even difference between them because of the Fiora's superior farming as well as taking more turret plates. And it looks like we might see another death on the Fiora, or no, she's going to be able to make it out. And looks like she is chasing, because we are seeing a team fight in the bot lane. Are we going to see a kill on the Sylas? Yes, we are. And we might see a kill on the Fiora as well. Her W immunity comes out, but it isn't enough to get her out. Karthus coming in for backup, but he is also not able to save her. Unfortunately, NC State was not able to make those plays early enough to get the turret plating on a lot of these towers. So Emory did make good use of their early advantage, which has kind of almost been nullified at this point. We're back down to only like a 2,500 gold deficit, which is not insurmountable at all. We are going to see a double kill from the Karthus ult. That is unfortunate for NC State, but when there's a Karthus who's likely to have an ult up and you're low health, you probably want to be backing like as soon as you can in order to heal back up and not be vulnerable to things like that happening, where Karthus can basically get a free double kill, because he's now well ahead of NC State's jungler, and that added almost 3,000 gold to Emory's lead, putting them at a commanding 5,000 gold lead over NC State. But as we saw earlier in this game, a commanding lead is not necessarily the end of the game, because Emory has been repeatedly making very punishable plays for NC State, like what we just saw with the Fiora and the Karthus, and maybe even a death on the Sylas, or Blitzcrank was not. I had to choose between giving a kill to the Karthus or the Sylas, and he chose the Karthus because the Sylas, as we've already seen, is able to make some very smart plays. So, but that was probably the lesser of two evils for the Blitzcrank, and we are going to see Ornn backing. He could probably finish this top tower right now, but with Fiora on the way, he doesn't want to risk that. We're also going to see Sylas backing, it looks like. Oh, the Akali E comes just too late to stop his back. I think that's Akali E. Yes, that is Akali's E. And it looks like we're going to see something big in the bot lane, possibly. A missed hook from the Blitzcrank. That probably hurts, because that grab on the Bard could have potentially led to a kill. And that kill could have even led into a dive under tower to kill the Varus to collect that bounty, as well as take bot tower, which it looks like NC State is still going to be able to do. But the potential loss of those two kills is gonna hurt a little bit. And we do see now that NC State lost the second Rift Herald, which is going to allow the Karthus to kind of put pressure wherever he wants in lane. He could easily take this bottom tower, but this tower is probably going to be gone already. The Bard and the Silas popping out of the bush to kill the Misfortune. I wasn't watching, so we're not 100% sure what happened there, but if the Misfortune face checked that bush, that's really not what you want to be doing, especially with how active in the jungle we've seen that this team is. That's going to be a second Drake for Emory University. And while two Drakes is not that bad, getting a third Drake, NC State is probably going to want to try it really hard to prevent Emory from getting a third Drake, because then they're only one Drake away from getting the Soul. and you by taking the next Drake, they would give themselves more options when the next Drake after that comes up, because if Emory is able to take the next Drake in 4 minutes time, then NC State is going to have no choice but to fight for the follow-up Drake. So they're probably they're kind of backed into a corner here. Do they choose to fight for this Drake now, or the Drake that is going to precede it? And it'll be interesting to see what they choose. It looks like we're going to see NC State trying to fend off Emory on the top side. Are we going to see a team fight here? I think it's possible. Another whiffed Blitzcrank Q, unfortunately, and that is going to lead to a death from the on the Blitzcrank from the Karthus, and Misfortune is also going to get knocked down by the Silas. Akali dashing in. Are we going to see any counter kills onto Emory from NC State? It does not look like we will, that team fight. And that is going to also cost NC State top tower, and a Rift Herald is going to come down. That means that this Herald is this Herald's going to be attacking the turret tower in top lane, or the inhibitor tower in top lane. And Emory might even be able to take inhibitor off this play. We are going to see a death on the Silas and a knock up on the Karthus, so that is going to be a double kill for the Akali, I believe, as well as a knock up into a kill on the Fiora. The Bard and the Varus are not going to be killed, and NC State is going to lose mid tower, but they do successfully protect the top inhibitor tower, as well as secure a lot of kills. Unfortunately for NC State, the gold lead is still 7,000 gold total, which is a very large lead. Emory is still very comfortably ahead of NC State, and it's going to take a lot more plays like that last play for NC State to pull out the victory this game, especially with the lack of tower pressure that they've been putting on. They've only taken one tower to Emory University's 5, and so because of that, Emory is very close to an inhibitor tower, and taking an inhibitor, one strong push, and NC State will lose one of their inhibitors, which will sort of restrict them to someone defending from those super minions. And we are going to see a tower kill on the Ornn, a tower kill on the Ornn, which is going to be good. It's going to get some of the gold. Silas is going to steal Ornn ult, which is very unfortunate. He does get the knock up from the Ornn ult onto the Ornn. Ornn looks like he might be able to kill the Silas. We are going to see a successful Baron from Emory, And oh my God, Blitzcrank almost made it out of that fight, but we are going to see a an ace for Emory University, and with Baron buffs, that's probably going to be the end of the game. Well, not quite. The Akali and the Trundle are already up. Yeah, it was a little earlier in the game than I thought. A Baron that early kind of threw me off. I was expecting the death timers to be a little longer, but this is definitely not looking good for NC State with now an almost 10,500 gold lead for Emory. I'm not really sure what NC State can do at this point, other than delay the inevitable. We're going to see the Bard and the Silas probably solo this Drake, while NC State tries to like defend the towers that they have left. If they can hold out, they do scale harder than Emory because of the orange passive, allowing him to upgrade the mythic items on NC State's team. But we're gonna need to see that happen pretty quickly here, or Emory is gonna push this lead right up to the NC State Nexus and close this game out before Orn has the potential to do that. It looks like we are going to see a potential push in the bot lane from Emory to take bot tower and bot inhibitor, while Fiora's split pushing in the top lane. This does not look good for NC State because they're going to have to split their forces between the top lane and the bot lane, and it looks like they're a little disorganized coming into this, and it looks like Emory is going to be able to take both turrets, and that's going to be a solo kill on the Ornn for the Aurelia, not even taking any damage. That is unfortunate, and I'm not sure that NC State is going to be able to defend these last two towers. We're going to see a stolen misfortune come out from the Silas, but not amount to much. We might see we see a death on the Blitzcrank from the Fiora. Uh, we do see a Silas kill and a Karthus kill from the Akali. Akali might be able to kill the Fiora and the Bard here too, and turn this game around. The Fiora is has a very strong healing built into her kit though, and it does not look like she's going to be able to prevent that Fiora. We might see a death here because of the Trundle though. Yes, the Ornn and the Trundle together are able to kill the the Bard and the Fiora. That's going to be an ace, but it looks like NC State is going to lose their last inhibitor tower. The price that they paid for that ace was a dire one, and we're probably going to see if not an outright team fight into end for Emory, then we're going to see them set up for Baron, fight for Baron and take Baron, and then end the game. And I'm going to blow my nose again real quick. Sorry about that. Okay. Here we see a death on the Blitzcrank from the Karthus, a Bard ult, essentially locking in NC State's fate. The Akali doing a lot of assassination work here. She's going to be able to kill the Varus and the Karthus, but the Karthus ult is going to come out, and that is going to finish off the ace for NC State, and that is probably going to be the end of the game here. Fiora taking the last inhibitor, just rubbing salt in NC State's wound, and that is going to be the end of the first game of NCSU versus Emory. We are going to see at least one more game, possibly two. Well, we'll see what happens. If NC State is able to win the next game, then we will see a third game. But let's talk about that last game. What did the teams do right? What could they have done differently? Who carried? Who did not? So overall, NC State's team just did not have a lot of damage compared to Emory. Here we can see the damage graphs, and we can see that the top 3 damage dealers on Emory's team, none of which were their ADC, did more than the top damage dealer on NC State's team, which is unfortunate to say the least. And the lowest damage dealer on Emory did more damage than the lowest for NC State. We can look at some items. So the Fiora. Let's see. Starting with Fiora, she built a Ravenous Hydra, a Divine Sunderer, and a Hull Breaker, and a Maw of Malmortius, and ended with a broken stopwatch. So that is a pretty solid build into a NC State team comp. The okay. So NC State's team was yeah. So Fiora was split pushing a lot that game, aka pushing the minion waves out in her own lane or in another lane with no competition or no one else on her team helping her, because she had that early lead that she was able to outfight the Ornn for most of the game. And so the Hull Breaker is a good pick. The the most common build on the Fiora is a Death's Dance as opposed to a Hullbreaker. But considering how little damage NC State's team was putting out, I think that the Fiora made the right decision. She didn't need the Death's Dance because her passive healing was enough on its own. So the Hullbreaker allowed for that greater split pushing pressure, and the most disrespectful thing at the end is just adding in a stopwatch and just being like that last little bit of you can't kill me because I can just go invincible. That is and a good maneuver for the Fiora, especially for what it looks like her personality is, based off of the fact that she did take the inhibitor, the third inhibitor, when she could have just ended the game. She wanted to put that extra salt in the wound in multiple aspects of her play. Now on to the Karthus. He built a Leandries, a Shadow Flame, and a Rabadon's into Void Staff and Medjai's. All pretty standard, makes a lot of sense. The one out of the norm thing that he did is not buying a Zanya's, but buying a Rabadon's instead of a Zanya's is almost equally as popular, and so nothing sort of weird about that. He probably would have sold the Medjai's at the very end and switched to a Zanya's if the game had gone on longer, because he did have a lot of deaths. So the stacks on the Medjai's probably weren't high enough to make it more valuable than a Zanya's in the long run. But clearly the game did not go on long enough for that to be necessary. Next up, let's talk about the Silas, Everfrost, Zanya's Shadow Flame, working on a Void Staff. Yeah, that is 100% like completely normal build. The after game scoreboard says that both he and the Akali had Guardian's Pauldrons, or whatever the support tank item is called. I don't think that he or the Akali had that. That's probably just a bug with Riot. So I'm not too sure what that item actually was, but I'm sure it was in the norm. And certainly I can't say he was doing anything wrong, since he did have a KDA of 12, 4, and 4, which is very good, especially at high levels of play. The Varus, one of the less impactful players on their team. We saw him building a Immortal Shield Bow into a Ginsu's, and next going with a Hearthbound Axe, which is interesting. So let me check and see what that builds into. A Wit's End. Okay. I thought that might be the case. So Immortal shield bow into Ginso's into Wit's End is the meta build on Varus. Obviously, it's just he didn't quite get that far. We were only 30 minutes into the game, and I say only because if an ADC doesn't get super fed, then they really get stronger after that 30-minute mark, up to into the 45-minute games, the hour-long games. That's when an ADC really shines, unless they get very fed early, which the Varus didn't. He was only 3-3. That's not bad. He wasn't like inting. He just was not super fed. So nothing much happened there. Nothing out of the usual. Lastly, the Bard. We saw a Shirelia's battle song into a redemption and a bulwark of the mountain, which comes from Relic Shield and Targon's buckler. Okay. So that's his support item. Makes sense. So the Bard, he mostly went like a normal build, not the most common build on Bard, but a relatively normal one, and he skipped out on the Chemtech Putrefier, which I don't think is that bad of a decision, since there isn't a huge amount of healing on NC State's team, or there wasn't amount of healing on NC State's team, so it's not like he needed to add the anti-healing item. And that's sort of a trend that you can see throughout NC State's, or throughout Emory's team comp builds, is that none of them built really anti-healing items, because there was not a lot of healing to worry about on NC State's team. Like, just a minor high healing champ is the Atrundle, and he did not have enough healing to make an investment into that itemization worth it. Now let's talk about NC State's items, starting with the Ornn. He did a Forge Fire, or Sunfire Aegis, aka Forge Fire Crest, after being Ornn upgraded, into a Thornmail, a Frozen Heart. That is the meta Ornn build path. That makes perfect sense. That's a high win rate. I don't think that Ornn did anything wrong there specifically, except I don't know how early he built that Thornmail, but if he didn't at least buy the item component of Thornmail that creates anti-healing early, then he probably should have done that, but it's possible that he did. But yeah, when a high healing champion like Fiora gets a lead early, the best way to counter them is to build an early anti-healing tank item. So if you're into like a Fiora or a Dr. Mundo or a Renekton, then you're gonna want to do that. And it looks like we're getting into the next round here. So that is gonna be the end of my item breakdown. It looks like we are going to see NC State on the blue side this time. In all of the last losses that I think I've spectated NC State losing in, I think they've been on red side. So we might see a turnaround here with blue side, which is generally speaking, the superior side, blue side does have an advantage. A very small advantage. Oh, looks like there were some technical difficulties in the champion selection, and now we're back out. They should get back to that pretty quickly here. Okay, so we are once again back in draft. So we should be into the game in the next 5 or so minutes.
Think what I could offer.
Ugh. Okay. So far, we are seeing once again Ornn for the top lane for NC State, but as opposed to Trundle in the jungle, we're going to see Hecarim. It looks like Aatrox in the mid lane, which is an interesting pick. We're going to see
Impure fools.
I'm not sure what to make of this. It looks like Silas bot lane, Silas ADC with a Senna support for NC State, as far as I can tell. And for Emory, it looks like we are going to have Yone in the top lane, Kane in the jungle, Kassadin in the mid lane, Varus once again in the bot lane, and Braum as the support. These are some unorthodox picks NC State has gone with. Maybe it will lead to a strong team. We will see what happens. Okay. In the next 2 minutes, we'll be in the game. I'm gonna mute again real quick. Okay. 1 minute now. And then we'll be in the game, and we will get a confirmation of the unorthodox system that NC State is going with here. Unorthodox, but potentially game winning. We will have to see. Okay, we're about to be in the game, and hopefully there are no technical difficulties this game like there were last game with the repeated pausing. Hopefully we'll have a nice smooth playback. Okay. Unlock that. Turn off time controls, turn on scoreboard, turn on objective timers, give chat a reset. There we go. Got my setup already. Wow. This could be a potential. It looks like it is going to be a first blood for NC State. The Yone had no idea that NC State was waiting in that bush. That is already a reversal of the first game that could potentially be a forecast of things to come. We're seeing Kane start blue side Raptors, and we're gonna see Silas, and the Aatrox coming in to amount to not much, just some lost health on the Kane. We're going to see him rotating back to his blue. The Silas and the Senna rotating towards bot lane. I think that Yone into Ornn, I'm not sure that Ornn wins that. Yone is a good dual champ, just like Fiora. So we'll see what happens. He's doing pretty well right now, but if he keeps giving those free giving those free autos to the Yone, it could not end well. And now we're looking at two very low health top laners, and it looks like the Ornn could very well die, but the Hecarim coming in for the gank, that looks like that is going to be a death. It is a death on the Yone. NC State picking up 2 early kills. Yone not quite being able to secure anything on the Ornn. He could potentially get a kill on the Ornn, a counter kill on the Ornn now, if Ornn is not careful. Using Yone could use his W, but it looks like Ornn is not going to risk it, and he's going to sit well under tower. And we might see Kane try to catch the Ornn. He does not, though. And we're going to see Ornn teleporting back early, using that gold lead on a cloth armor. That's going to be good against the Yone, but Yone does have mixed damage, so it's not as good as if it was into a single damage champion. There's not much he can do there. You see that Kassadin did kill the Aatrox, but it was clearly a close match. The Kassadin did almost die. So Aatrox could still have potentially a chance at killing the Kassadin in a 1v1. It looks like we're seeing NC State forced Braum to back, it looks like, in the bot lane, and the Silas is still full health into a solo Varus right now. You see the Hecarim not quite keeping up with the Kane in terms of CS, but his kill and his assist do allow him to stay slightly ahead in gold for now. Looks like the Kassadin is now leading in the mid lane. He's been able to poke the Aatrox down, it looks like, and Aatrox going in for an all-in here, but the Kane, he's almost able to kill the Kassadin, but the Kane comes in and forces Aatrox away. We could see a potential counter gank here with the Hecarim. The Kane does not appear to know that Hecarim is here, and that is going to be a flash from the Kane over the wall to get out. That does not lead to a kill for NC State, but that is certainly a good thing. Not giving a death. I'm not sure what the Kane's move here is. Looks like he's executing in base. Maybe trying to assuage a potential CS based bounty by giving a death there. We could potentially see a kill under tower on the Ornn. It doesn't look like Yone is going to try too hard for that, though. We are seeing a roam from the Braum, which could lead to a kill on the Aatrox, potentially. But it does leave the Varus to solo against the Sylas and the Senna, who's a pretty strong duo in terms of engage and damage. It looks like they are not quite going to be able to push out in time to make use of the solo Varus before the Braum returned. We might be seeing Kayn setting up for a dragon here, or a possible gank. NC State still holding the lead for now, but this could definitely still be turned around by Emory. NC State definitely doesn't have any reason to celebrate, but the Senna is stacking well, so she could potentially get a lot stronger if this game goes for a long time. It looks like we are going to see Emory University going for the first Drake, and it looks like NC State might be contesting, and they are going all in. Red team Emory is able to take it, but it does cost them 3 deaths, possibly 4, but it looks like the Cassinan is going to get out, and he is. But that dragon was definitely not worth it for Emory. The first dragon is by far the least valuable dragon in the game, and it's a dragon that you should give up if it looks like the other team is going to fight for it and you're not going to win that team fight. The first dragon isn't worth it because it is the least impactful dragon. It's going to be a different dragon after that, so it's not going to be like the soul or anything like that. And so Emory probably should have just backed off and avoided giving NC State those 3 kills, because now all of NC State's champions, except for their top laner. Never mind, the top laner did just get a solo kill. So now all of NC State's champions and lanes have either a gold tie or a gold advantage. And we did just see another kill for NC State in the bot lane. And as I said at the beginning of last game, NC State is a team that thrives off of getting an early kill and an early advantage, and then pushing that advantage to the absolute max. And this is what we're seeing the start of here, with 7 kills and only 1 death. NC State is pushing bot tower. They're pushing the mid lane. It looks like, yeah, they are going to lose this first Rift Herald, which could make for a strong play from the Kayn. But overall, NC State is doing very well this early. They already have a 3,000 gold lead, and so they're probably gonna push this lead a lot, which is what they are good at. We already know that NC State isn't good at playing from behind, and we saw that last game. But what we're seeing now is that they are great at playing ahead. They are good at playing in a way that does not lose them a lead once they get it. So we are possibly going to see a death here from either side. No, it looks like the Ornn is able to get away from the Yone, and the Kane is able to get away from the Hecarim. Or, no, it looks like the Yone is going to be able to get a kill, but he's going to die for it. And we are also going to see a death on the Braum for the Sylas. So that is overall that is a better kill. A better kill. The Ornn is a better kill than either the Yone or the Braum in isolation because he had 2 kills already. But because both the Yone and the Braum died, that wasn't an even interaction for Emory. And with what we see now is Hecarim pushed up very far into Emory's territory, and what Emory would want to be doing if they knew that he was here to sort of take their lead back or take a lead would be to collapse on him. But instead we're going to see the Hecarim and the Ornn locking off the Yone, keeping him stuck away from his tower, and that is going to be a death on the Ornn, as well as a triple kill in the bot lane for the Sylas, a trade for the Senna. So apparently, whether Sylas is on NC State's team or Emory's team, he is able to create a lot of kills. Sylas is let me check my data here. Sylas is Sylas is a tier 1 champion right now with a very high pick rate and ban rate of 14% pick rate and 11% ban rate. So in 25% of matches, Sylas is either picked or banned, which is 1 in 4 matches. That's a lot. That's a high ratio for a champion. For example, who's a less popular champion? Braum, for example, has a pick rate of 1.8 and a ban rate of 0.2. That adds up to 2%. So 2 out of every 100 matches versus 1 out of every 4. We are going to see a death on the Aatrox in the mid lane, but conversely a kill on the Yone. And Emory is going to spawn the Rift Herald, but he is not going to be able to take mid tower. And we are going to see a tower go down in the top lane. I believe the first tower of the game goes down for NC State from the Yorn, who is currently pretty handily stomping the Yone, which is kind of a reversal from what we saw last game with the Fiora. We are going to see a death on the Senna at the hands of the Kane in the mid lane, and unfortunately the Sylas and the Ornn are not able to win a 2v4, and the Sylas goes down. But with the addition of the Aatrox and the Hecarim, we are going to see a death from Hecarim. This is not a team fight that is going NC State's way. Getting fights like that and picks like that is what Emory is going to want to close the lead that NC State built up. A very uncoordinated team fight like that is very bad for NC State, and they are probably going to lose this Fire Dragon because of it. If not, have a couple more deaths, because we're going to go right into another team fight here. We're going to see Sylas take Varus are. We're going to see a death on the Varus, a death on the Braum, a death on the Kayn, and are we going to see Kassadin fall too? It looks like probably not. He's too well defended between those two towers, but Aatrox did fall for that triple kill, but overall that was probably an interaction in Emory's favor, because if we count those two team fights together, well, we just saw another death for the Yone. Those two team fights together, we saw 3 kills on NC State versus 1, I think, on Emory, and then 4 kills on Emory and 1 on NC State. So that, I think, evens out the kills from those two team fights. But Emory did get another Drake. So overall, I believe that Emory came out of that interaction on top, but not nearly as much as from the first team fight in isolation. And it looks like we're going to see Emory possibly attempting a second Rift Herald. But NC State is going to be able to push them off. We may... Looks like... a bot lane tower from the Aatrox with Hecarim coming in to defend him so that he's sort of safe to continue pushing there. It looks like we're seeing probably a death on the Ornn. Yes, that is going to be an Ornn kill for the Yone, and Emory really did not want to give up that Rift Herald. They came back as soon as NC State let their guard down and got a kill and a Herald out of it. And plays like that are what Emory's going to need to probably turn this game around, which they definitely could. The gold lead is only about 3,500 at this point, which is definitely a potential turnaround for Emory. We're going to see Aatrox coming in behind, and while we quite possibly, yes, we are going to see a death on the Sylas from the Kayn. Kayn's probably going to die for it, and Braum is going to make it out, but we're going to see another turret go down in the bot lane. So it looks like Emory is very good at sort of distracting NC State from their true motivations, because they had Kassadin pushing mid lane and Varus pushing bot lane, while the Kayn, the Yone, and the Braum together fought like basically the rest of NC State's team in the top lane for this tower that Yone took. And if Emory keeps playing like that, they may be able to sneak a win out from right behind NC State's back if they don't like pay attention to where all of Emory's players are at any given time. And we do still see a 3,500 gold lead from NC State, but given Emory's playstyle, we're probably going to want to see NC State trying to expand this gold lead to be in a more comfortable position, because Emory could at any point really flip that gold lead with a strong team fight and an objective, which is what we've seen them do several times, is have a good team fight into an objective and close the sort of the gold gap. And it looks like NC State is aware of this and is fighting for the objective preemptively. Looks like we're going to see probably a death from the Hecarim, who has been isolated from NC State's team. And we're going to see a huge Ornn ult. And this is exactly what Emory needed. This was a massive team fight for Emory. An ace for one of their players as well as an objective, and just like that, just like I was saying, the gold difference is now only half 1,000 gold. 500 gold is a minuscule gold difference, especially down from I think almost 5,000 at one point in this game. And they're gonna go right into Baron off of that. If NC State doesn't sort of get it together with these team fights, then they're not going to pull this victory out. They got kind of complacent in their early lead, and it's costing them a lot. We might see a potential few counter kills here, but I don't think we're going to see anything like what Emory just pulled off. I could be mistaken though. We're going to see a double. Will we see a triple? It looks like we are going to see a death. Ooh, NC State probably should not have pushed their luck there. We're going to see a triple for Emory, and probably, yes, that is another death on the Silas. Emory completely turned that around. NC State pushed their luck way too far, and now that is a 3,000 gold lead for Emory. The flip from NC State. So now, given that Emory was able to play from behind like this, we're probably looking at another Emory victory, because NC State is not good at playing from behind. And Ornn is about to get killed by Emory as well, and that's going to be the loss of mid tower. And NC State just did not put enough pressure on while they were ahead to create the distance that they needed. Because while they are still ahead in kills, their lack of play for objectives is and towers is kind of the death of them here. And now it's even almost blow for kills, but Emory has all three dragons that have come down so far. They have a Baron. They have two more towers than NC State, and they're about to probably get a third. When NC State did have the lead, they probably should have been pushing a lot harder, looking for kills, looking for those objectives, not giving up those early Rift Heralds, because we remember Emory got both of those Heralds, and now they have three towers more than NC State. So, yeah, they kind of squandered their lead even by taking team fights that they didn't have and not pushing for team fights that they did have. And we're probably about to see, another kill on the Senna. It's likely that Silas is not going to make it against this Kassadin. Kassadin isn't even level 16. He's a level 15, about to hit his power spike. It looks like we're going to see a death on Aatrox under tower. I don't think Hecarim is going to be able to survive either. Going back in, being able to kill the Kayn, but the Varus is able to take him out. We're going to be looking at the fall of another tower, an inhibitor, probably two more towers as well as inhibitors, because we've just seen time and time again NC State just giving 4 kills for like 1 or 2 kills. And that is now a 7,000 gold lead for Emory. Overall, this game and the past game, we've just seen a lot better team fighting and play of the map from Emory than we've seen from NC State. We haven't seen NC State looking for these the plays that Emory is doing so well. And this is a recurring problem with NC State's team is they not so much losing their leads, but when they are behind, as they are now, they don't know how to play from behind, and that's sort of indicative of why they lost the lead that they had. And let me just say that while I am harping on NC State heavily here, it is still possible for them to win. But with another ace like that into a Dragon Soul, it's unlikely. NC State is Emory is probably going to be able to end the game or nearly do so off of that play, because all of them are here, and a single NC State player isn't going to be up for another few seconds, and the whole team won't be up for another 20. And they just are not going to have the damage to defend. And that is going to be a victory for Emory, a victory from behind. And that is a sad defeat for NC State, because they did have the lead there for a while, but they lost it. And it just goes to show that when you're behind, you can still win team fights, and winning 2 or 3 of those team fights, it just I just realized that my webcam was covered that whole game. But yeah. Okay, well, that was a best 2 out of 3, and so that's the end of this match. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.